In Formula One's long and luscious history, there have been many drivers. But to be a driver in Formula 1, the pinnacle of motorsport, only 20 seats on the whole planet, you have to be somewhat good at driving, right? Well, for the most part, I guess. But on some occasions, this is what your regular and typical Formula 1 driver looks like on, well, pretty much every single weekend. If someone was to say Formula 1 driver, you probably think of glory, you probably think of wins, championships, maybe a carved out piece of statue out of stone, I don't know, something like this?
Lando Norris wins for the first time in Formula 1!
But that is only one type of Formula 1 driver. Keep in mind there are many different types of Formula 1 drivers. So with that said, as you can see by my in-depth analysis, I have gone through every single type of Formula 1 driver and broken it down into many little categories of Formula 1 drivers. This took years and years of planning, years of mustering up ideas, and finally it has come to fruition. So with that said, subscribe and like, I don't know why you wouldn't, and I hope you enjoy the video. Starting off with what I like to call the filler drivers. These are the drivers that, well, they get an F1 seat, but not because they're good, not because they're talented or fast or can win races, but because a team, well, they need a driver and there's not really that many good drivers on the planet. So they're like, hold up, you're alright, I guess. You can fill this race seat for the next couple seasons or even one season, and you can have the seat. They're also known as the trash drivers. They're only in the sport for, what, 1 or 2 seasons, get replaced down the line, and, well, they're replaced by another trash driver. Take Williams for an example. They had Nicholas Latifi in the seat.
No one's underrated in Formula 1. I'd say Latifi.
And what, they got rid of him for Logan Sargent? Is that a real good replacement? Is it a downgrade? Is it an upgrade? Probably a downgrade, because Logan Sargent is looking more like Nikita Mazepin rather than the vision of Logan Sargent being an absolute godly driver. Usually they average a finishing position of P20. In Logan Sargent's case, that's pretty much correct, or a DNF, so hey. And their car is most of the time looking like a mashed potato with no wheels, rather than an actual Formula 1 car, which is meant to be fast on the track. Well, if the car is dismantled, then it can't be fast, can it? These drivers, they usually end their career pretty soon in Formula 1, 1 or 2 seasons down the line, and then go to a different racing category, say IndyCar, Formula E. Look at Nick de Vries, he's back into Formula E and he's having a good time, right? But in Formula 1 there are one too many trash drivers, and most of the time, well, this is what they do. Now, back in the day, like back in the day, like when the dinosaurs were still around, when, let's say, 100 years ago, there were plenty of these drivers, the absolute gigachads. Absolute gigachads. They were carved out of stone by a chisel, by hand. It was perfect. They were real legends. And throughout the years, the numbers of them have been slowly decreasing. Most notably, James Hunt was one of them. He was an absolute, he was genuinely a legend.
James, how much does this victory mean to you?
9 points, $20,000 and a lot of happiness. Can you give me a cigarette? Can I grab that cigarette off you? Thanks.
Well now, James, they've changed the regulations concerning the airboxes and the wings, and yet you're still extremely fast. How do you do it?
Big balls.
Susie, on the other hand, claims she didn't know a thing about motor racing until she met James.
But to get into this category, you really have to be some kind of stone-cold warrior. You have to be absolutely on the ball every single time you get into the car, and really just be just great. You really just have to be the Kimi Räikkönen of Formula 1 with responses like this.
Hello. A couple of words and finish for your fans before we go back to English.
Well, I think they all understand English, but
good point, fair enough.
And it's honestly sad to say that there's less and less of these drivers around. Alonso back in the day used to be one of these drivers, absolutely dissing everyone on track, being an absolute menace. But recently, well, he's pretty much changed. Kevin Magnussen used to be one of these drivers when him and Nico Hülkenberg had, well, bigger beef than Kendrick and Drake. And it felt like his gigachadness has kind of diminished, but recently it has been back, and he's been back better than ever, really looking like a Norwegian Viking, causing havoc off track, on track. It's just been great. He doesn't care about getting a race ban. He doesn't care about crashing anyone out. He doesn't care about the consequences, the penalties. He's just doing it for the team. That's what really matters. None of this, oh my god, let me let him past. It's fine, I'll get him back. No. You are not getting past. You are gonna die by trying to get past. It's not happening. Just accept defeat. Big balls. That's what you have to be in this category. Luck comes in many different sorts and sizes and forms and damn it, anything. I mean, you have liquid luck, you have the unlucky lucky kid, and in Formula 1, you have to be somewhat lucky to even get in the sport. But there is a certain category of drivers which I guess their whole everything in Formula 1 is based on luck. Getting into Formula 1, they're so lucky to be in Formula 1. I mean, there has to be a perfect window for them to a seat to be available and then they get into biggest luck of the planet. And for them to even stay in the sport for multiple seasons, yet again, very lucky. I mean, take Yuki Tsunoda for an example. Got lucky getting into Formula 1. Got lucky by staying in the Red Bull family for that long because after his 2021 performances, he wouldn't be in the sport, let's be real, but there was no other drivers, so he kept his seat based on pure luck. And it's not just getting into Formula 1, which some drivers are lucky to even get into. Winning races, getting podiums. I mean, who signed off Gasly getting a win in an AlphaTauri in 2020? Pure luck. Same with Esteban Ocon. Pure luck getting that win. Same, there's so many people who've got on podiums, which is just pure. But I guess Formula 1 is just, you have to be a slight little dabble of luck. And, well, some drivers, their whole personality in Formula 1 is just, lucky. No skill involved, just pure luck. I mean, hey, take Logan Sargent's singular point in the 2 years that he's been in Formula 1. Pure and utter luck. 2 people had to be disqualified from the race, and, well, he finished P10 as opposed to P12. Lucky. There's no doubt about it that everyone in Formula 1 has to be lucky to a certain extent. I mean, Hamilton, so lucky to have such a dominant car for so many years. Same with Max Verstappen, same with Schumacher. But certain drivers, they just need a tiny bit more luck than others. Fakes and fraud are never good in any situation, but in Formula 1, they are really the bane of my existence because I hate fakes and frauds in Formula 1 more than, well, anything. Also known as paid drivers. They're drivers that get into Formula 1 because, well, they have money. They have enough money to back them, to support them, to get into Formula 1. They're not good at all, but they've somehow managed to fraud, fake, scam themselves a race seat. Whether it be at an absolute trash team for a couple seasons, or whether it be at an absolute top team. Let's be real, Checo Perez, he doesn't deserve to be in that Red Bull seat, but because all of the backing he has from Mexico, he's being absolutely carried into free race wins, and, well, even he can't do that anymore, can he? Because he's a fake and a fraud. Whilst Max Verstappen is absolutely dominating, Sergio Perez, he's doing fuck all. And I'm not putting, say, Lando Norris, Niki Lauda in this category, because they got into Formula 1 as paid drivers, but they're not a fake. They're not a fraud. They proved to everyone that they could hang with the big dogs. They are the big dogs. They are the best of the best. But others, Perez, he is a fake and a fraud. He has sponsorships, he has this, everything backing him to get into Formula 1. And the performances he produces, well, they're on par with Nikita Mazepin, with Latifi, with Logan Sargent, drivers who are trash drivers. And being real, if it wasn't for the money, they wouldn't be in a good seat. They wouldn't be in the sport. They'd be out. And I'm not saying that all paid drivers have a long history in Formula 1 because Latifi, Mazepin, they were all paid drivers. And look where they are now. Well, I haven't heard their name ever since they departed from Formula 1. And they're only still relevant because, well, they were literally the polar opposite of one of the greats. Your average paid driver really does finish so far behind their teammate in equal machinery, and on many, many occasions, they don't even finish the race because they end up in the wall. They're not good. They have frauded their way into the sport, and nobody likes that at all. Unless you're good, then, well, nobody cares. Now, this might be a tiny bit shameless because I could have put Lance Stroll into the, well, paid driver, fake and fraud category, but I truly, truly believe that he deserves his own category. He is that unique of a driver, not as in unique as in he has a good driving style. He has a unique driving style and can put up performances like no one's ever seen. Max Verstappen, he's unique in a way, record breaker, so many championships, he's the GOAT. Fernando Alonso, he's also unique. He drives for the same team as Lance Stroll. He can put up stonking performances, P3s, P2s in the car that really doesn't deserve to be there. But Lance Stroll, he is unique in a way that, well, my brain can't kind of comprehend how unique he actually is. So therefore, he has his own category. He can be happy about that, celebrate that, because when was the last time he actually celebrated in Formula 1? Oh, wait. Now, not only did he get into Formula 1 by being a paid driver, his dad literally dumped so much money into Williams for him to even be in the sport for a couple seasons. He has never impressed anyone in Formula 1, and he is just a nuisance on track, crashing here, there, everywhere, and he's been dominated by pretty much every teammate he has ever had. The only thing that is good about him is I genuinely love his interviews. You either can get one word, 2 words, a full sentence, maybe even just a nod. And honestly, the only thing he's good for in Formula 1. Not his driving, but just the ridiculousness that comes out of his fat gob. Now this is a category that, well, a lot of drivers end up in eventually, and it's the washed warriors category. A lot of drivers have been here, and a lot of drivers are gonna be in it. These are drivers that peaked in their careers sometime or another, and ever since that day which they peaked in, they have been slowly tumbling down in skill level. Now look at Kevin Magnussen. Peaked in his first race and he is slowly tumbling down. Daniel Ricciardo, he has peaked ages ago and somehow he is still in Formula 1. Somehow. He went up. Oh my god, best driver ever, and now he's just back down here somewhere.
Daniel Ricciardo becomes a new winner.
Lewis Hamilton has peaked, Sebastian Vettel has peaked. They're all somewhat in that category. And will they ever get back up to their former glory? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and find out. But for now, they have peaked. They were once good, scoring podiums, wins, championships on some occasions. And now, well, look at them. I guess their facial expressions really say it all. They're not happy with their performances, they're not happy with the position they're in, they're not happy with their car. And there's only one way to describe it all. Washed. Just absolutely washed. Eternal glory awaits you, the best of the best. Absolute pure skill, pure talent, no luck involved. This is the category that only a select few actually are able to get into. What is that category? Well, you probably already know. It's the champions, the best of the best. You have to win a championship. On the grid currently, there are only 3 world champions out of the 20 drivers. Now, to say that it's easy to get into this category, I would be lying. Because not only is getting to Formula 1 actually very difficult, scoring points is incredibly difficult. Getting a podium, incredibly difficult. Getting a win, incredibly difficult. And then getting a car that can challenge for wins every single weekend in and out. Then having a driver that is actually talented enough to be winning those races, then can win a champion. Do you understand how difficult that is? This is like the Hall of Fame area. This is like the stars on the floor in LA, I think. Winning a championship in Formula 1 is the hardest thing to do in motorsport, and only a couple drivers have ever managed to do it, and therefore they are eligible to join this category. Well, in a nutshell, you just genuinely have to be the best of the best, looking like this.
He wins the British Grand Prix for an 8th time here at Silverstone. Max Verstappen dominates the Bahrain Grand Prix.
And not some kind of bum and on a daily basis looking like this. Now this is a category that genuinely grinds my gears to the core, because how is a driver just getting TikTok edit here, TikTok edit there? Every single second there's some kind of it's not about their skill, it's not about their craft in racing, it's about them, their face, their features, and the fact that people are forced to watch these TikTok edits of them. These drivers are usually the fan favorites. The fans love them. Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton. Everyone loves them. But the fact that they get these stupid edits. And then people in the comments, oh my god, I love them so much. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's so annoying. They're in the sport because Max Verstappen hates the whole social media part of it, and I understand why. I mean, no one's really making edits of him. Except for his winning ways, because there's like countless amount of race wins which you could put into an edit. But other drivers, what, they have 1 or 2 race wins and they're getting edits upon edits upon edits upon. And we just can't do this. It's not, no. Edits about Formula 1 itself, about tracks, about drivers, about the racing aspect is the coolest shit on earth. But if you add that whole simpiness of a driver, oh my god, he's so cute. Shut the fuck up. No. Stop now. Now, these drivers might be the fan favorites because they're the funniest, they're the most likable persons on the grid. They know what they're doing and they know how to please the fans, and that I can respect. I love that. I love when people are entertaining and not just bland and boring and they have no fans. I'm all for it. Entertainment at its finest. Comedy is what everybody loves. But if you take it one step too far and make these stupid edits, that's when things go south. Some drivers, they are literally leaking with content, with funny moments, and, well, that is respectable. Like, very, I like that. But stop with the edits, the weird edits, please. I mean, I guess that's it. That's pretty much every single category in Formula 1. If I missed any, let me know down in the comments, and also let me know which category is your favorite. Whilst you're there, you might as well subscribe and like. I don't know why you wouldn't. Just do it. Help me out. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't jump under a car and don't die. Have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. And peace.